you are excited about it.
Welp. In the end, Mehdi Taremi wasn't able to make history with Inter. I recently did a video talking about how he could make history with Inter, help them win the Scudetto, help them win the Champions League, but unfortunately, it didn't work out. They didn't win the Serie A title. They just got absolutely spanked in the Champions League. And where do we go from here? This video is probably not going to be very heavily edited like my other videos. I just kind of wanted to get this out because a lot of Iranians are upset, annoyed, frustrated, like myself, about how everything panned out for Taremi and everything that just surrounds it. If you're not an Iranian football fan, then you might not totally get what I'm talking about, but I'll give you guys a short story on why we are upset. As we all know, this season hasn't quite gone to plan for Mehdi Taremi, being probably Iran's biggest shining light of a past couple of years of a downwards period. He hasn't had, per se, a good season, not what we would have expected from him, but I was hoping at least with joining a top club like Inter, he would at least win some trophies, break some records, being the first Iranian to do X, Y, and Z. Unfortunately, Inter were on track to win a treble. They could have done it, but they folded every single time, losing to AC Milan in the Coppa Italia, and on top of that, the Super Coppa Italia, which that doesn't play a part in the treble, but just add on to that. Sadly, losing out to Napoli on the final day, where Napoli were just stumbling on those last couple games of the season to secure the title, but Inter couldn't capitalize. But all could have been forgiven if Inter just won the Champions League, the creme de la creme, the best trophy you can win in club football. For me, this felt like the closest moment of Iran winning a World Cup, having a player lift the Champions League, play in the Champions League final, maybe even score in the Champions League final. My dreams were limitless. After that tie against Barcelona, I thought, wow, maybe Mehdi Taremi starts, maybe he plays, maybe he scores, maybe he gets an assist, maybe he just plays like an absolute dog in the final. But no, none of that. All that dreaming, all that tweeting, all that posting, which by the way, if you're not already, you guys should go and follow me on Twitter or Instagram, whichever social media platform you prefer, if you guys want to drop me a follow there. But when it comes to the Champions League final, I didn't expect him to start. I was like, you know what? I'm not surprised if he starts on the bench. If anything, I think that's a good thing. Because if he did start, he probably would have gone subbed out early. So if the game still stays close, or maybe they're losing by 1 or 2 goals, Mehdi comes in, he could be the hero, he can get Inter back in it. Whatever it may have been. The game goes on, PSG score 1, PSG score 2, and I'm like, wow, this is really not looking good at all. And I thought, okay, they're down 2 goals, maybe in the second half he comes on. The second half rolls around, he didn't make any subs at halftime, he makes a couple at around the 60th, 70th minute, brings on a couple of defenders, which I was like, okay, it's a little bit weird. You're losing a game by 2 goals, but you bring on defenders, all right? Then they go down 3-0, and at that point I was like, okay, the game's done. I was upset, but I thought, hey, for sure, Mehdi Taremi is gonna come on, make a difference in the game. But no, he doesn't come on. No attacker comes on. Inter didn't make a single offensive sub. PSG, who were up 4-5-0, subbed in more attackers. It made no sense. Another part of it was too, as that game went on, you could tell there was a very clear disconnect between the midfield and strikers, especially at 2-0 down. And at that point, I still thought the game was within reach for Inter. We've seen them make comebacks, like in that previous Champions League match against Barcelona, come back from a 2-goal deficit. But Inzaghi just made the wrong subs, was very stubborn with his lineup, didn't want to bring in players like Zelinski or Fratesi who could help unlock that midfield to offense, or Taremi who could help drop deep, connect that midfield to offense, bridge that gap. Instead, he didn't do any of that. And I don't totally understand why he didn't do that. Because at that point, when it was 3, 4, 5-0, I was like, okay, Inzaghi, you've lost the game, but maybe at least get 1 or 2 goals to at least make it less bad. Because this is the worst result by a team in a Champions League final. Inter were able to break that record. Not the records that I wanted to see and probably all of you wanting to see. It was the record for the worst defeat in a Champions League final. Like, holy cannoli, literally the worst case scenario happened in front of our eyes. I spoke about it in that previous video. I don't care if Taremi plays, doesn't play, he scores, whatever it may be. But as long as Inter won the Champions League, I would be happy. That was the main goal going into this game. Obviously, anything more like him playing, maybe scoring, getting something on the board, making a strong impact in the game would all be bonuses. But at that point of being down 3, 4, 5-0 in the game, I was like, okay, Inzaghi, just bring on Taremi. At least let us have that moment where an Iranian footballer plays in a Champions League Finals. Let us at least get that check mark off of our history books. And you didn't even let us have that. You just let us have absolute misery. And it just really, really pissed me off because Inter lost 5-0 and Taremi couldn't even get one freaking minute in the match. It's just the dumbest thing I've ever seen. The only maybe positive out of it is because throughout this entire season, we've seen Taremi has been the huge scapegoat for Inter whenever any result doesn't go their way. He didn't even play a single minute in this game, so at least he can't be blamed whatsoever for it. And maybe it adds a little bit more of realization for Inter fans, and if Inzaghi ends up staying with Inter, that Martinez and Thuram are not the perfect strikers. So hopefully that was a little bit of an eye-opener for all parties involved. But all in all, it just really, really sucks because for us Iranian football fans that just know, if you know, you know, this was the opportunity for us because the last time an Iranian was part of a team that was in a Champions League final was Ali Daei back in 1999. That was 26 years ago. And we all know the national team, the player pool, what's going on with this football federation very, very well. I think we all can agree that we don't think we'll have a player that will make the strides that Taremi did to be that successful in Europe and to be a part of a team like Inter that reaches Champions League finals, are contenders for titles. And I don't know what the future holds for Taremi. As I said in that last video, I want him to stay, but definitely with how things panned out in this final, maybe I do want to see him leave, but maybe that could be because my blood is absolutely boiling after watching that match, how it panned out, and all of the things I already discussed. So maybe after I let some time go by, maybe I won't feel the same way. I'm still kind of on that same thought process of he should stay because he will compete for bigger titles, but if he's going to get disrespected that badly to not get one single minute in a Champions League final where your team gets clapped and you couldn't bring me in at all through that match, at least try to make a difference offensively because Thuram and Martinez didn't do jack diddle throughout the match, that would piss me off. That would rub me the wrong way. I see everyone on social media talking about where do we go from here? What's going to happen now with Iranian football? For me, either way, if Taremi won it or didn't win it with Inter, I don't think things change. It would have just been nice and we could have finally had like that joyous Iranian footballing moment where we all come together. And as I said in the beginning of this video, feel like we won in something. For me, this genuinely would have felt like Iran winning the World Cup. Like this is as close as we get to the pinnacle of football. I was hyped for this game for weeks and it just completely bummed me out. It drained me. Couldn't believe how worst case scenario literally happened. I was thinking so optimistically, so positively that I thought things were going to end so well. It just didn't. I mean, Inter got absolutely booty tickled. Worst Champions League performance. Taremi, as much as I hyped him up, I was pushing that propaganda on social media, didn't even get a minute. He got done absolutely dirty. And here we are. If he won it or didn't win it, I don't think things would have changed for the underlying issues with Iranian football. It just sucks because who knows when the next time will be that we will have a footballer get to this point to be able to reach the pinnacle in club football. Because if anyone was going to do it, I felt like Taremi was going to do it. I don't think things change at all when it comes to Iranian football. We all know the issues. We all know that things need to change. There needs to be a rebuild for the national team. And I do have a video planned talking about Qalenoui and stuff that probably will drop the next day after this, maybe even 2 days after it. And I'll probably discuss more of that there. But either way, I don't think things really change that much that Taremi won it or didn't win it. It just kind of sucks all in all. But boys and girls, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Were you bummed, upset? What were your thoughts about Taremi not making a cameo in this final? Should he stay at Inter? Should he leave? What should his future be like? As well, give me your thoughts on the final. What could have Inzaghi done better to have at least help Inter not lose 5-0, at least make it a bit more of a respectable result? Let me know your thoughts. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to check out this video next, where I talk about why Amir Qalenoui, the coach, is ruining the Iranian national team. And make sure to click there to subscribe because I post content weekly on the channel and you don't want to miss it. But boys and girls, I hope you'll have a lovely day.